Welcome to part number 2 of the world's best radio-controlled car collection. So in the last video, we got to round about here somewhere. We've had a couple of changes here that I'm going to go over in a minute. We still got to have a look at a couple of crawlers. Still got all these cars here that we got to look at. Also some big 5th scale petrols. And upstairs a whole load of Banggood specials. So let's start off with a drag slash, because that wasn't there on the last video. So this here is the Traxxas drag slash, which has only just recently come out. So it's got a Chevy C10 body. It's actually based on the Traxxas slash two-wheel drive platform, as the name suggests. Now this thing is fully stock, and I do want to upgrade it a little bit in future to make it go faster. Next we have the Project world's fastest off-road RC car. So this car here, I'm trying to get it to go over 100 miles an hour on grass. So this is an Armour Typhon, and I've extended it with an Armour Mojave long wheelbase chassis. Also we got a great big TP motor and a max 5-speed controller. We're probably going to put an XLX2 in there again to give it a little bit more power. This has had 2 XLX2s in there before, and they both caught fire, but now they've done the update, they should be fine. Hopefully this time it's going to be okay and not catch fire. So since the last video, I've put in a lower KV motor. Lower KV means more torque and less RPM and less load on the speed controller, less likely for everything to get hot and to catch fire. So we've geared it up. Bigger pinion means more RPM, so now hopefully we get the RPM back and the reliability back, and hopefully get some records. Also, we got these belted off-road tyres, and I've still got to try them out and see how good they are. Next, the Project World Fastest RC car. We're trying to get it to go 203 miles an hour, and we did crash it in a previous video, and I've just fixed it now. We put a whole brand new belly pan on there, and we're going to give it another attempt, hopefully very soon. Also, the Traxxas UDR, this one's sort of been refreshed a little bit, and now it's been made to look brand new again, with a brand new body, and we just sort of tidied it all up a bit. Infraction is back again after really worked on it. Let's have a look. So my friend Alan painted the body, and check it out guys, it's all airbrushed, there's no stickers on it, the whole thing is airbrushed. So this car here is almost stock. We got the stock motor, but we did upgrade it with a Max 6 ESC, which means that now we can run it on 8S. We're still running the stock servo. We've got a few upgrades on here from the Basher Queen. So we got the centre brace, carbon fibre steering rack, carbon fibre top plate. Vinny put in thicker diff fluid, so we still got to run it and see how it goes. Before, what was happening, you're trying to do a donut and it would put all the power to the wheel without the grip. So if you was doing like a donut going that way, the car would lean that way, this wheel would just spin up like double the speed and blow the tyres out. Now with a thicker diff fluid, hopefully it's not going to do it. But oh my god, what a car guys. This is definitely one of my favourite all-time RC cars. I would never have thought that on-road could be this much fun. Oh look, we've had a little mini e-Revo added to the collection, and it's basically a mini version of the Revo. Brushless motor, I think we ran it on, I can't remember how many S's we ran it on. 4S? I can't remember, but oh my god, how fast guys, this thing is crazy fast. If you go back a few videos, you'll see this car in action. I cannot believe how fast it is. Next, let's have a look at some of the crawlers. So last video, we made it all the way along to that one. So now let's have a look at the rest of them. And this is the Traxxas TRX-4, and look at it. It looks absolutely epic. So this car at the moment is fully stock, but we do have actually quite a few upgrades planned for it. Yeah, could do with a clean. So looking underneath it, we have 3 portal axles, 6-wheel drive, remote locking diff locks on all 3 axles. We've got a high and low speed transmission. No idea what that is. Upgrade wise, we're going to fit the Trill aluminium components, and we're going to go brushless. That's going to be in the video hopefully very soon. I know some of you guys are not interested in crawlers, but don't worry, we've got all these cars here coming up in a minute. So here we have my HBI Wheelie King, and I'm actually trying to make it look like what my big monster truck's going to look like. So for those of you that don't know, we are actually attempting to build the world's best full-size monster truck. We've got the BKT tyres, big block, supercharged, alcohol-injected V8 engine, and look, the C10 body. So this is roughly what it's going to look like when it's done. So it's a HBI Wheelie King. I've modified it with longer linky things, 4-link bars from a Crawler King, LRP brushless motor, a T-Sky Enjoy Yourself ESC, and I've actually modified this one to rear wheel steering. Well, front and rear steering, so it's like 4-wheel steer, just like on a real monster truck. And if you're wondering what all this monstrosity is, all over it here is actually to stiffen it up. These used to break off quite a lot. They kept blowing rear differentials. With all this hot glue put around it, it might not look pretty, but it does make it a lot stronger. Next, we have the Axial SMT Gravedigger. And I'm not really a fan of it, guys. At first glance, it does look really realistic, but then when you look at it a bit closer, it kind of isn't. So we do have 2 solid axles, but On a real monster truck, the diff pumpkin is in the centre, and on this it's not. And to me, it kind of spoils it. It doesn't make it realistic enough. A lot of people always ask me if I would recommend it, and I would say no. I would just spend a little bit extra and get the Lossy LMT. A lot more realistic, a lot higher quality, a lot more durable, and it also performs a lot better. The way that it drives and the way that it handles, I just wasn't a fan of it. Just don't bother getting that one. Get the LMT. And even proportion-wise, the wheels look way too small for the car. And if you look at the chassis, this part of the chassis of the monster truck is supposed to be quite narrow, and on here they've made it really wide. Just the whole thing just doesn't really look right and handle right, and meh. Next up, we have the Traxxas TRX-4, and this is the brand new Bronco edition. To get the body off, it's got these little clip things under here in the wheel wells. And looking inside, it's almost identical to the 6x6. The only difference, really, is that it's got 2 axles instead of the 3. So you've got your locking diffs, you've got your high-low speed transmission, you've got your portal axles. This is, in my opinion, the best 1/10 scale radio control crawler. Next up, let's have a look at the other TRX4s. So this one here is my Traxxas TRX-4 Sport. The difference on the Sport is only got a single speed transmission, and the differentials are permanently locked. That makes it a lot more simple and also a lot more reliable. So this car here is the one that I use for getting wet, so I don't mind driving it underwater. We've got the waterproof hobby wing brushless combo in there. We've got all the Trill aluminium axle housings on it, all the knuckles. That's all the same stuff that I want to put onto the 6x6. And we've waterproofed it all up so that we can just take this through water and not worry about the water getting inside it. Here we've got a Bauhaus RC low centre of gravity battery tray, and it just makes the battery sit a lot lower inside the chassis, makes it a lot more stable. And we've got some Banggood Special alloy wheels on stock tyres. By the way, guys, all these cars that you see in this video, there is videos on all of them on this channel. So if you want to know the exact upgrades, you want to know where you can get them from, all the setup, everything like that, go back, have a look at the earlier videos, and you will see all of that. And here we have the Axial SCX-24. We've also Trill aluminium axle upgrades. I've only just very recently did a video on this one, and we've still yet to make it better. So we've got a brushless motor coming for it, and I'm going to make it rear wheel steer. Next, these two TRX4s are almost the same spec. This one here is the one that I first got, my first ever TRX4. It's been to the skate park, BMX track. We've done speed runs with it. Absolutely insane. This one here, I built it to be a replica of it. So this one here is more of a shelf queen, but it's pretty much the same spec. Let's have a look at this one. So we've got the earlier Chevy C10 body on it, eBay steel wheels, a Castle Mamba X brushless combo. As on the other one, we got the lock-in diffs and the 2-speed transmission. A bit overkill here. We put a KO servo in there. It's not waterproof, I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. Definitely overkill. Look how smooth it is. So the difference on this one, as opposed to the one that gets beaten, is that I've actually put steel axle housings on this one and brass portals. What that does, it gets the centre of gravity a little bit lower and it makes it more stable. So next, we have the Tamiya Manta Ray. So this is what a Tamiya Manta Ray is supposed to look like, and it was actually my first ever hobby grade RC car. But it was actually this one here, but I've sort of, what I thought when I was sort of like 12, 13 years old, I modified it to what I thought was better. So we've got some Meccano parts on there in places. We've got a Kinwald motor, ACOM servo, no idea what the tyres are from, no idea what the body is, but I think you can still get these on eBay. So this RC car here is the RC car that got me into the world of hobby grade RC cars. And it was actually Trevor Sheen, that one of my buddies from school, that got me into buying them. My very first RC car was actually an old Nico. I had 2 Nicos, a Nico Gambler monster truck and some Nico buggy thing that my granddad got for me. And I thought to myself, Nicos are the best. And Stempy and Trevor used to say, no, 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 Tamiya's are better. And I was like, no, no, no. Then I actually saw one, and I was instantly sold. How fast it was, how durable it was, how you could jump it, the way it handled, just everything about it was just wow. And from that moment on, I was a complete RC fanboy. So more recently, I got this one here. This is a Manta Ray remake, or re-release. By today's standard, very basic, not that durable, not that fast, but for back in the day, absolutely amazing performance. Next up, Traxxas Rustler 2-wheel drive. So it's got a Proline Bulldog body shell. You can't actually get these bodies anymore. I don't know why, because I reckon it looks absolutely epic. Then we painted it in my legendary red. So we're running stock wheels and tyres, RPM arms. I think there's still the stock shocks on there. Are they stock? Are they the alloy ones? I can't remember. Stock, I think, probably. We've got a Max 10 ESC, so we can actually run this thing on 4S. And on 4S, it is stupidly fast. A lot of people say you cannot run the stock motor on 4S. but I've even ran them on 6S and they've been fine. If you're going to do that, do it at your own risk, you know. It might blow up, it might not. Also on the rear, we have the fast Traxxas drive shafts because the stock plastic ones, they kept breaking, and RPM lower arms. Oh, and we've got RPM hubs, and on the front, also RPM hubs and hub carriers. A lot of you people keep saying, Kev, when are you going to get the Rustler out again? I don't know, it's two-wheel drive, and I'm not a fan of two-wheel drive. I really struggle driving them. When you try and put the brakes on, it's like yanking up the handbrake. It just wants to spin out. It just wants to wheelie everywhere. I don't like the handling characteristics of two-wheel drive RC cars. So when I've got all these four-wheel drive RC cars to choose from, that's what I'll pick first any day. But a lot of people, they prefer two-wheel drive, and that's fine. Two-wheel drive does have its advantages, like it's lighter weight, it's cheaper, less maintenance, and some people like the handling. End of the day, the best car is whichever car puts the biggest smile on your face, and that is different for everybody. Next up, we have the DHK Maximus. So this one is a Banggood Special, and for the price, it's not actually that bad, apart from the body, that's quite brittle. So it's four-wheel drive. It's got a double-deck chassis design, which I actually really like, and it means that the chassis is a lot less likely to bend. Brushless motor and speed controller, fully stock, and a few of you guys want to see it back out on the channel, so maybe we've got to get it out again soon. Maybe we'll paint up a new body for it too. Let me know in the comments what you think. So now let's move on to some of the more special cars. And this one here is the Traxxas X-Max 8S. This is Stempy's one. It is completely box standard, as it would come out of the factory, and that's all there is to it. Not much to say. You all know exactly what X-Maxes are. Next up, we have the Lossy Baja Ray. And I'm lazy, so I'm not going to bother taking it off of the wall. And also, the body's kind of fixed onto it. You can't take it off, so there's not really much point. So I might as well just turn my camera around like that and pretend that it's on the workbench. So there you go. There we have the Lossy SBR. No, Super Rock Ray. But anyway, the only upgrade I've done to this one is actually the alloy knuckles. Look, the stock ones, they break really easily. So that is actually a must-do modification that you have to do. When they come out with the SBR, the Super Baja Ray, it's kind of based on that one. But this one here, the version 2, it's got a few upgrades. So the suspension on this one is actually a little bit different. You might not... Hold on, let me get it down. So the front suspension, they have actually changed it a little bit. There you go. There is a difference, if you can tell. So this one here, we've got Fox Racing shocks front and rear. The battery goes into bottom. The suspension on this is really realistic. It's a crazy fun car. It's bigger than the UDR. It's faster than the UDR, I think. It feels faster. It's more durable. But somehow, I still prefer that one, and I don't know why. Some of you guys are going to probably accuse me of being a Traxxas fanboy, but nah, I don't care. So this one here is my favourite on-road car, so I guess you could call me an Armour fanboy too. But anyway, we got the live solid axle on the rear, and double wishbone suspension on the front, just like on the real car. Check out this suspension. It's nice. Next up, we have the Lossy DBXL 2.0, I think it's called. I'll just call it the Lossy Fox. It's a big car, and here it is next to the Traxxas X-Max. So this car here is double wishbone suspension, front and rear. Giant motor, look at the size of it. That is ridiculous. 8S speed controller that we broke the mount on when we took it to the skate park. 8S LiPo, metal chassis, giant great big servo. It's a very high quality and durable car. Out of the box, it's a little bit on the slow side, so I think we're going to gear it up. We put on a bigger pinion gear. That's going to speed up the RPM. It's going to make the wheels turn faster, and that's going to make the whole car go faster. So that is going to come up in a video very soon. If you guys know what size pinion this would be ideal on, let me know in the comments. And from this view here, you can kind of get like a size comparison of all these different cars. Next up, let's have a little look at the Traxxas Hoss. So this is kind of built on the slash 4x4 platform. It's a little bit shorter. So this thing here is bone stock, but I have put in the heavy-duty Traxxas drive shafts front and rear. So brushless motor and speed controller, can do 3-cell LiPo. It's very lively, and I should really get it out a little bit more often because a lot of you guys keep asking about it. I'll tell you what I really like about some of these Traxxas cars is this quick-release body mechanism. So you just quickly go like that, body shell is off. To get it back on, it's pretty much the same back in reverse. Another thing I love about Traxxas cars is just how easy it is to put your LiPos in. On some of the Armour cars, you've got 4 body clips and you've got all Velcro straps to put around your batteries. It's a little bit more secure that way, but it's more messing around when you've got to change your LiPos. Next up, we have the mighty HBI Savage XL, which has for many, many years been the go-to most durable bashing RC car that money can buy. This has been my favourite RC car for years and years and years and years. And it's only up until, like, say, the last 6 years ago, the X-Max has come out, that now the X-Max is my favourite RC car. So back in the day, these were so crazy durable, nothing could come anywhere close. And although they are very strong in stock form, we did actually make a few modifications. So the first thing you might notice is the tank. Now the standard tank that these cars come with, they're a funny shape and they have a habit of running lean once the fuel starts going down. So I've put in a lossy tank. It's also got a clunk in here, so this will run when it's upside down. We have an LRP 32 engine, and these have got loads of power, and so much power, in fact, that it kept blowing out the transmission. So we've done a full metal transmission upgrade. Metal spurred gears, all the gears inside all steel. We've got stronger servos in there, but I've forgotten what they are. We've put on double shock. I think these are hinge pin braces from Alza Racing or Anza or something like that. Comment down below if you know, but I've forgotten. We've got RPM arms. One downside to the RPM arms is that you bend a lot more drive shafts, but you can easily straighten them out with a hammer. We've got some metal in there, a bit more metal there, heavy duty engine mount, and a racing tune pipe, and I think that is all the upgrades. Oh, and these trencher tyres here. I would love to run it more, but it's kind of like a sentimental shelf queen because it's been my favourite RC car for so long, and I want to kind of just have it sitting there and looking good in all its glory. So hopefully they're going to come out with another Savage XL so I can build another one and have one for actually bashing. Because I love Nitros, I love bashing Savages, and Nitro Savage, it's running nicely. There's not really much out there that you can have more fun with.
Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, and we've got this heavy-duty rear knuckles to get rid of the tie rods. On the stock one, on the rear, it had the same tie rods as it has on the front. I do not like that design on RC cars when it's on the back. On the front, you've got a servo saver, so it's okay. On the back, they're solidly mounted, and it always breaks stuff off. So that is probably one of the best upgrades that you can do to a Savage, or any other car that's got those silly links on the back, like the E-Revo. Blah, blah, blah. So a few of you guys have asked me how I mount the RC cars on the wall, and there's literally a bit of wood screwed all the way across with screws sticking out. Not the most pretty, but it works. And next up, we have the Hobeo Hyper MT Sport Plus, which is about the same size as the Savage. I wanted an RC monster truck that's nitro that I can take to the skate park and give it absolute hell, and it's going to be reliable. So I got this, but it hasn't been that reliable really. I mean, the engine should run nice, but I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to tuning. Ooh, that fuel's looking a bit gunky in there. So it's got these same silly links on the back that the Savage had. I don't like those, and I'm pretty sure I have broken it before. But it makes all the suspension go into funny angles. Look at that. You're moving the suspension. I keep breaking those diff cups, so I welded on our inner race from a bearing, and hopefully that's not going to break anymore. We've still got to do the front one. I've seen online quite a few people bend the chassis, even though mine hasn't yet. We've got a tune pipe. All in all, it's a really nice car, but I think it does need a little bit of work to make it more kev-proof. Next up, we have the Team C T8TE, or whatever it's called. It's a 1/8 scale electric truggy, and this is actually the car that first got me into the world of electric-powered brushless RC cars. So this is actually the racer kit, so it started out as a nitro kit. However, I put the electric insides in there from the ready-to-run electric version. So we've got HBI Vorza motor, so loads of power. Savox servo, Vorza ESC. I used to use this car as a basher, but the one weak spot was the bearings. It's got tiny little wheel bearings, a couple of jumps, and they used to explode. So I thought I'd change it by putting Kyosho hubs on it, and to get Kyosho hubs on it, I had to put Kyosho arms on it. So now the bearings are strong. However, it's kind of messed up the suspension geometry. So we've got a lot less travel on the front. And then when we go over to the rear, we've got loads of travel, which is pretty cool. But now it keeps busting these drive cups. All in all, lovely buggy. It's kind of more of a sentimental one as well now. It does come out every now and then, but I think really for now, it is more of a wall queen. And a little trick here that I got from Mick Craddock is that when you slot your body mounts, as the chassis flexes, then it saves the body. If you just have holes and the chassis flexes and there's nowhere for the body post to move, you start smashing up shells. And I could have done it a little bit neater, but eh. Next up, we have the Armour Outcast 6S. It's actually an Armour Notorious, but it's the same car, just a different body. So this one here has had quite a lot of upgrades. We have an M2C chassis, Hot Racing hinge pin mounts, I think the Hot Racing anyway, custom RC upgrade, chassis braces and steering plate, Power HD servo, which has so far been one of the only servos that survive concrete skate parks with a metal chassis car. I know, it's a Just Bash It RC steering plate, Just Bash It RC shock towers, M2C beefed up thingamajig here. RPM arms. I think it needs a new ESC though, because it starts cogging and doesn't really run that nice anymore. So something is broken and we have to investigate. We've got an RPM front bumper. I didn't bother putting this piece on because it didn't look that well, so I opted to keep the stock bumper and have this as like a little nudge bar to help protect that. A very cool looking truck, especially when we get the Notorious body on there, and we do need to get it out again very soon. I've not ran this for probably over a year, maybe even 2 years now. So next video, we're going to have a look at all these cars along the top here. These are the Armour, Outcast and Creighton 8Ss. Here we got a 4S, a Rustler 4x4, some on-road cars across there, my X-Max collection, Creighton 6Ss, helicopters, a new car show Nitro, that's the body for it there, the SCX6, which is massive, and my new little collection that we have under here, and then also all the cars that we've got upstairs. So subscribe and smash the bell so you don't miss it.